But there's no reason why we can't have a good connection because it's only that far.
It looks good. The picture looks good.
How many watchers? None?
40 views 54 minutes ago.
No. Saturday at John's 3.
Walk around over by your phone.
I'm over here. Did you get it up?
Not yet. Went completely out of it. Saturday at John's 3. You're painting around the landing gear and that does it out far behind there. Like you watching, of course, one of them's me. One of them you.
No.
Does it count you?
I don't know. I'm not watching. Man. We have switched over to the at the field setup because John's internet won't handle it for some reason. Hopefully, we can make it work. That's going to be a very expensive ordeal for me. Is it working all right?
Yeah. Picture looks good. You're painting on the other side of this Stratton elevator in the picture right now.
Well, I tried that extender. It works down in the basement.
I don't understand that. You know, you're right down there in the basement. You're right underneath my router. My router sort of halfway between the bandsaw and that door leading into the other room. You do have all that metal ductwork and stuff.
You have no excuses now, though, that we even got a booster and it dropped. We have switched over to the at the field hotspot instead of using wireless from John's house. So hopefully this will work. I mean, this is kind of a test run for this summer anyway. One thing I would like to say, just because I have this whole quart doesn't mean I need to use it all. If this thing shines up in 2 coats, we'll stop painting. If it doesn't, then I'll keep painting until I got a base. But no more than this paint for the base.
The way it's looking right now, it's gonna take pretty good.
Yeah. It's all right. Might take 4. Yeah. Take what it takes. Slather it on.
No shit. City still seems to be.
Tom Creasy, are you back on here or are you?
He might be having his hands full right now, because he said he was waiting for his stripper to activate. Once she activates and he starts putting them dollar bills in there, watch out there. Especially if he starts using $5 bills or $10 bills.
What are you talking about?
Playing around with the stripper, isn't he?
Oh.
I'm sure you've been a few days in them joints.
I've been in there. Wasn't really fond of them.
No, it's just a gimmick to get your money. To separate you from your hard-earned dollars.
$10 for a beer was not my idea of a good time.
No. And then constantly having somebody hitting you up. Want to dance? Teasing you. Thinking you might take something home. More like the clap or something like that.
Yeah.
You put more thinner in that?
Nope. Why?
Just sort of looking at. You're just putting it on heaven.
Yeah. Slathering it on.
That's fine. Slather on and sander off.
Looks like my hotspot is going to be the way to go.
Thomas says he's watching his timer again, so he's waiting for another batch of stripper to activate. So we lost it with Thomas. We changed delivery modes for the videos, checking out what we're going to be using out in the field. So yeah, we dropped off and came back on. No big deal.
My true fans will be here. They'll be here tonight when I go home and start sanding it.
Yeah. You know what I do? I either had my laptop on or I had my cell phone on and I had my earphones in and I sit there and listen to it and I watch TV at the same time. I try to figure when I can chime in and text you something.
It was really handy when you called me. Can't find my phone. John, give me a call.
See, I never heard you say give me a call. I went ahead and just called you because you said, damn, I can't find my phone. And you kept mucking around with the delay and everything. I never heard you. I just went ahead and called you and said, well, I'll just call him up and let him ring. He'll find it. I never heard that until actually I played it back and
If you're listening, give me a call.
yeah.
I found it right away. Once it started ringing.
It's so easy, man. How many times has your shop ate your X-Acto knife, you know, or a pair of pliers or sandpaper or whatever? If it doesn't happen to you 2 or 3 times in a session in an evening, then you're doing something wrong. Well, no more sharks.
Yep. Looks like some people are going to have to learn how to build.
You got a lot of people over there selling their stuff. I seen some ads up there on Facebook the other day. One of the Ukrainian guys is selling all this stuff. He says the post office still works.
Some people are going to have to learn how to build.
Well, that not only knocks out a couple, 2 or 3 airplane manufacturers, also knocks out some engine manufacturers and parts and all that stuff. Double stars, stalkers, combat motors, combat planes, 10 for $500 or whatever they were for them combat planes, $50 a pop.
Like I said, some people are going to have to learn how to build.
Yeah. Phil Cartier.
I can hardly wait till this thing's back in color. God.
Yeah, it won't be long. Couple weeks.
It'll be a brand new airplane. I got a new motor for it.
Yeah, you found that. You found that ABC motor.
Yeah.
Why do you need to put a new one in? The one that was in there was strong. That's an ABC motor that was in it.
No.
Wasn't?
No, I only have two.
Oh, that was one. This was one that had it in it.
No.
Well, then you got a motor that had good rings in it too.
Oh yeah.
To boot.
That's a good engine.
That was the only problem with Super Tigers was you might get one that had bad rings in it. It wasn't. I don't know that it was all that often or not. But.
And that motor that came out of this is a good engine. That's a good backup.
So I never ran in the ST6 Super Tiger 60s. I ran 46s, which are sort of gutless.
I got two brand new ones.
I've got about 6 of them.
I got a brand new G2135 in the box.
3 or 4 of the 46s that are brand spanking new. Still got the old flipper.
On the RC motor.
RC motors, yeah. Throttle control thing on it. They're brand spanking new, never been run.
If the economy wasn't such shit, I bet I could get some big money for that 35.
Well, listen, if you can't get all them combat motors, they might start going back to them. I know, they'll put Ray Jets in them,
Nelson's.
or Nelsons.
I flew a Nelson 36, and it was considerably faster than a Super Tiger, but I mean, what's the difference between 100 miles an hour and 105 miles an hour?
Well, a lot if you're competing.
Yes, we mix white paint in the dope. By the time that I get to painting, it'll be white.
You can already tell it on there. That's just 2 coats. You can see it in this blue.
Oh yeah.
You can see it in the wood. That's just 2 coats of that tinted clear. I think it's going to take 2 more.
Well, it's going to get another one before I leave here.
Might have to turn the heater on here in a minute. Open the garage door up for a second, air this place out, and turn the heater on. Help this stuff dry. I gotta watch the humidity
Why?
because I'm at that stage on my airplane where,
In between painting.
but I'm gonna be.
Oh.
I'm at that stage where I gotta watch for blushing big time.
You should have been painting already.
Well, the humidity went up to 60-some%, and so I said no, and I went down and sanded some more on it.
Should have been painting when it was snowing.
And right now, well, I wasn't. I was doing other things. Only got 45% humidity right now. I'll probably bring it up here tomorrow and I'll touch up all these colors and choose coat clear on it so I can start pinstriping. I just have to determine whether or not I want to use that gray or use black panel lines. I thought about using gray because it's different.
You just want to be different.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I need is I need an ultrasonic cleaner. I need to clean my pins up bad.
Well, I know where one's at.
I should have asked you before you came over today. I could use it.
I soak my dentures in it too.
You know, you don't put your parts right directly in the tub on them things. You put water in the tub and you put your parts in another cup or something so you don't contaminate the basin, or put them in a Ziploc baggie or something with. I gotta clean that PA65 of mine. Big time. What you've been using to wash them down with, get the junk off of them.
Ultrasonic cleaner, I just use dish soap, hot water. It heats the water hotter than shit anyway.
Yeah, but are you dunking your whole engine PA in there?
No.
No, I don't think so. I planned on very thoroughly plugging the Venturi and the exhaust on it and hand cleaning it with a toothbrush and lacquer thinner or something. Pretty dirty.
We've got a good shine right here on the nose.
Well, that's that fiberglass on it.
Yeah.
You can see it, it's starting to build.
Yeah. Look, it's powdering off.
You sure you're not sanding the fiberglass?
No.
Because let me tell you, if I sanded that much on my airplane right now, I'd been halfway through the color too. That's what I did. You know, I was sitting there and I had some 2,000 grit paper now. 2,000 grit paper.
2,000 grit cuts better than you think it does.
And I just took about 2 swipes across that thing and I was through that clear and through the paint. It only had one coat of clear on it. And that was thin 60 or 70%. What's the mix ratio? Thomas, it's
Whatever
take a half a quart of clear dope unthinned. You put about 3 tablespoons of white paint in it. And then you fill it full of thinner. And that's your pre-tinted clear dope. Base. Your base that's your base all the way up through the 3 coats on top of the tissue paper.
That's all the paint you get.
That's all the paint you get for your base. To put the tissue paper on and up to fill the tissue paper.
And you'll think it ain't enough, but it is.
When you look at this jar, it looks pretty white. Where are you at here?
Yeah.
It looks pretty white. But really, when you tip it up and let it run down on the glass, it's transparent. You can see right through it. But you put 6 coats of this stuff on something with a coat of white tissue paper in between it, you're almost to white. It only takes 1 coat of white after that of regular paint, white paint, to finish it off.
2 ounces.
Yeah.
2 fluid ounces mixed 50-50 for 4 ounces. That's 1 coat of paint. And it'll be white. And then you put your colors on. You only get a half pint of paint. Colored dope.
Colored it. That's why we tint this. It doesn't take anything out of your color date, per se. It already, somebody else is trying to steal that online now too, so they must
What?
tint the clear.
Who is it?
I can't remember.
Is it our buddy?
No. No, believe it or not, it isn't.
Don't matter. Still ain't gonna come out 6 ounces, I'll guarantee it.
You gotta have the diet. It's the whole thing. It isn't partial and, well, I can do a little extra here, and you can add all the thinner you want. If you want to put 10 coats of this jar, this quart of thin clear on there, you better keep adding a thinner to it, because that's all you get to do is add thinner.
You don't get no more paint.
No more paint, no more clear dope, no more paint. When he gets done with that jar, he'll probably be thinned 80% thinner.
Before I leave today, it'll get filled up with thinner.
This started out as about a 50-50 mix. 50% thinner, 50% clear dope. Doesn't matter, it works. We've tried and trued and duded it.
This will probably get primer from here to here to make this nice. And this will probably get primed too to make this spot blend in. But that's it. There won't be.
That's going to be your hardest spot to blend.
Nah, I get it. Get some tissue on it so this is hardened up. See, what's happening is when I sand this, you sand into this, so this lowers, and then.
You got to keep your sandpaper on this side of the
Yeah, sounds
stuff
easy.
and just sort of barely go out into that. Yeah, it ain't easy, that's for sure. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. I just hope that they don't California our butts here.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about EPA-ing us to death on this lacquers and base coat, clear coat, auto finishes and all that stuff. Get rid of that water-based junk and all that stuff.
Them water-based acrylics that I'm using for t-shirts and signs and stuff, they're pretty good.
Well, I never did like acrylic paint, so maybe it's me. I didn't do all these edges. I just get it on the flat side. So you'll have to go through and make you a little popsicle stick or something. You know what to do.
No. Never done this before.
Nah, you're a newbie. Might want to tell everybody else about that. If you round these edges over pretty nice, I make a special little stick so I can get all the way up into these corners. And I break that hard edge on all this stuff. And when you cover over it, doesn't make it as defined. You don't see that sharp edge as bad through the tissue. Correct. Not sure like to know how that must have taken a hell of a while for you to bust through that.
Yeah, it was a big crash. Sound like a car crash.
Want some heat?
Yeah, I suppose. We're gonna make some noise, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait till I get some tissue on this because it's starting to.
Yeah, I wouldn't irritate it anymore. Somebody used to say that all the time. You're irritating the paint down. It wasn't that used to say that.
I'm gonna have checkerboards on the leading edge anyway.
That'll break it up. Can't remember who used to say that. They used to say
We're running the salamander. Better.
Want any more loose cap strips?
No, I blew them all.
You must have just missed them. You know, or you thought you had the glue going on that big clog that one.
When I fix this,
You know, a lot of times I'll run an 1/8" rib out here. Yeah. Just to stiffen this one rib up.
one more quick coat, then I'll hit the road.
Thomas, are you getting are you getting the tissue up with the paint? Ask him, Tom, if he's getting the tissue up with the paint.
Not too bad.
We're gonna put another coat on here.
What?
We're gonna put another
Irish fun.
Of course, I didn't smile and laugh when I did it. More like, hey, there's another spot I gotta pass. Your big spot was that spot where Larry put his finger through. You didn't do a super good job when you patched it the first time. But at least going through it this time, you got to do it.
I'll be able to tell when it's done.
One of them paint stands just make it nice, that thing. Yeah. That's still.
Pretty thick there. I'll sand it out. I'm just trying to get some material on it to harden it up. Trying to get some material on it so I can't. If it was nice out, I could paint outside the apartment. But
Were you able to get this thing out?
I haven't tried. I'm not worried about it. If I get it out, I get it out.
That's something I gotta do to my new plane too. I gotta fix the gas tank for it. And vent it and all that stuff.
Okay, another coat of paint. Somebody said something, 3 paragraph there. Tom Creasy, thank you for explaining dope mixture. Just finished half, 2/3 of the fuselage waiting on timer again. Boy, is this paper and tissue paint super thick. Plane feels much lighter already.
No doubt.
The thing that weighs the most, besides the engine, is the paint job.
Look at this weight.
Who is that? I don't know that guy.
I don't know him either, but that's a lot of primer.
Looks like automotive too.
Uh-huh. No comments on it, so I can't say anything. Dan Barry. I'll see what Dan Barry looks like. You know this guy?
What?
He might be a West Coaster.
I've seen him. I don't know real well. I mean,
Doesn't look familiar to me.
all I know is that's going to be an 80 ouncer.
Yeah, you better get all that primer off of that thing.
It doesn't matter. You can take all the primer off, but the weight is still there.
Yeah, you don't get off what you think you do, even if you make it to where you can read the newspaper through it, dude. it's on it.
Okay, this will be the last coat of the day. We'll take it back and start sanding. and sanding and sanding and sanding. Now the absolute lightest way to do this is to wait a day between each coat, but I don't have the time for that.
I don't think you gotta wait that long anyway. I mean, optimum if you're trying to do a textbook laboratory finish, just like anything else, watch Bad Chad. He'll show you a bunch of shortcuts.
Oh yeah.
You do shortcuts all the time.
Oh yeah.
Mix an extra hardener in your super fill, epoxy, whatever.
Ain't got time to wait all day for this shit. Dope is glue, and all I'm trying to do is get a glue base down for the paper to stick to.
You know, Brandon signed a bill, a law stating that lynching is illegal.
Boy, we needed that. No kidding. I guess murder's illegal, huh?
Yeah.
What a bunch of crap. Good old Brandon.
See, they're talking up Gary Toltz's, what was that military? Was it a Spitfire that he did that last year at Nats was on the front row? Or won or something?
No.
Or the year before? He does a good job. He's a good finisher.
Anybody can be a good finisher if you put enough paint on it.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do your finish.
The years that I was on the front row, I had spray shine on.
You almost have to have that to get front row now.
I've been on the second row with no spray shine, so what are you gonna do? Because the guys don't know what they're looking for.
Pretty much, shine doesn't mean everything.
Like when they start feeling the letters to see if they can feel them or not. You did that to a motorcycle at a motorcycle show, the guy would kick you in the ass.
Well, yeah. But you know they do. It's one of the first things they do.
you look at this, you can start to see it is becoming white on the nose. This is the third coat. And by the time you put the white tissue paper on it, I think I might put some carbon veil right here on this spot so I can block sand it. I think I got some veil back at the apartment.
I don't like to use this stuff myself.
Well, it makes a good filler.
Yeah, if you don't dust it off after you do it. After you sand it. Get some clear on it right away and leave that dust in there and fill it.
You know, when we repaired that spot where Jerry put his finger through the leading edge, it lasted two more seasons. Charles flew it, I flew it, you know.
Yeah, it was just starting to show a little bit. You know, just like any overlap or joint or seam or anything like that over time, it just starts showing again. It don't matter how well you glue them and all that stuff and sand them flat. They all always come back. That glue shrinks different than the wood or whatever, or the wood shrinks different than the glue. And
there was no putty on it.
you had super fill on it, didn't you?
No. Did we?
Yeah, I think so. A little bit. If I remember right, you tried to get that done pretty quick.
Yeah, we did it in a weekend.
Yeah.
There was no super fill on it, I don't believe.
Might not.
I think I used, put it on there, green puttied it, shot a little primer on it, painted it orange.
Yeah.
Trimmed it out in such a way that it wouldn't show as bad as it did.
Another thing you gotta be sneaky about. Panel lines and all that stuff.
Where?
Anywhere you can hide so much stuff, but
Oh yeah.
paint lines, panel lines, and
Why do you think the trucker girl and the YouTube and all that stuff was on there? Was hiding buggers.
I still like that guy's red airplane over at the Nats last year.
Oh yeah.
That was for a plain Jane airplane, that was one pretty airplane. Very well executed.
It was way too far back in the rows.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's pretty hard when you're judging appearance to make a snap decision and get them all right.
Yeah, well, you only got so much time, you got so many airplanes, and you gotta get through it and bang them out, and certain guys like certain things.
Well, guys, I hope you learned something today. I didn't. Only thing I learned is that this is a lot of work. But I think it's well worth it. We'll know when the finished product's done, as long as it's 57 ounces or less.
Well, you saved yourself about 6 weeks of building.
Yeah. And even if I built another one of these, could I duplicate it?
I doubt it. You don't have the wood anymore.
This airplane is extremely light. Just the airframe. Because I had good wood. All right.
After that kick dries, y'all good. You'll see some, I think you see some shine. I'm maybe go down later on the sandpaper.
Huh?
Move up to 1,000 grit paper.
Let's see. Trash thinner.
We're gonna put another coat on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to get sanded one more coat. Then the,
Put a coat on it and then put the tissue on the fresh coat.
yep. I make a few paper towels with you. Anybody said anything? Yes. Why can you first? Superfill really needs to be on the tissue. So I need to put some more thinner in this. Now, the paint is up to here. Before I leave, I'm going to fill it up with thinner.
As far as using superfill goes, you might need superfill on the bare wood, but you should have sanded all those mistakes out and done a better job building so you didn't need to use superfill on the bare wood. Otherwise, superfill, no fillets until after the tissue paper goes on. And then get the tissue on there, and then if you see any big giant glaring spots, then obviously you're going to have to superfill or do something that with them.
So it's filled back up with
Thinner.
Got a full quart.
Amazing.
Now, like I said, just because I have this doesn't mean I'm going to use it all. So, got 3 coats of dope on the airplane. I'm going to take it back to my cave, sand all the buggers. Oh, we got this unplugged again. Sand all the buggers. touch it up with that, the spots. Then next week when I come back, I'll paint one more coat of the thin clear on the wood. Before it sets up, I'll start covering it, and we'll paint 3 coats on it again. And if the silk span starts to shine, that's it. I won't use all that paint. Now we're still only at a half a quart of dope now, even though it's a full quart of material. It's still only a half a quart of dope. 1 pint. And then for the top coat, I have the non-tautening butyrate, crystal clear as Brodak calls it. That I'll mix a half a quart, put thinner in it. If I need any retarder, I'll add retarder. Hopefully I don't, but and start painting. And when it gets to the weight that I got where I'm at, quit painting. Start sanding. I'm going to try to hit that 54, 55 ounce.
I think it's going to be rough. If you hit the same weight, you did good, as far as I'm concerned. The way I look at it is that you're sitting here, and if that was a fresh model, you'd put 4 coats of base dye and then you tissued it on the 4th coat, not a 5th coat before you put the tissue paper on. So you're already, I'll bet you that wood soaked up 2 coats of paint that you can't get out of the wood. Now, taken for granted, now you help by sanding it down so much that you sanded 1/3 of the wood away that was on the airplane. So that helped, but you still didn't get all that original coats of dope off of it.
However, did I use my painting system at that time? I don't remember whether I used the 1 quart system.
Because you finished that airplane in St. Louis, I can't answer for that.
I don't think I did. I think I used minimal amount, but I didn't stick to my diet.
Probably not. You didn't use very much primer, I'll tell you that.
Not just on the nose and cowl. Just where I'm going to use it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no primer in that box.
See the sanding, no, nothing came off that airplane. Just in a couple of little spots. The sanding really begins on that 3rd coat of clear on that tissue paper. Because that's going to determine that 4th coat and where you're going to need the primer at, where you're not going to need primer at. And I mean, most people probably won't sand that tissue paper enough to block it down level in 3 or 4 coats of dope. They're too afraid of sanding through it. And you can very easily. I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, you got lightweight silk span on there. You only got 3 coats of dope on a couple swipes. I mean, the difference.
Feel this. Got a little bit of Star Gorse, but it had it before. This ain't bad at all, except for right there.
not too hateful. And you're just fortunate that you had some really good 3/32 wood. You know, you'd never been able to do this if this was all 16th sheet.
No.
Never, ever, ever. And you can tell it's picking up a shine already. You can feel it. It's starting to get that plastic feeling to it. The wood, the grains quit raising.
It's sealed.
You know, it's sealed. You take that one. I take like some 1,000 grit or 2,000 grit paper, and I just knock that down, and you're ready for tissue.
We're still gonna get one more coat before we put the paper on.
Well, yeah, but you do that right before you put the paper on.
Right.
That's just your glue. That eats into this dried coat, and you don't want to take any of this finish off that's on here right now. You just want to take the little pimples off of it. Any last little remaining spot you may have missed running around sanding. And you'll notice, so you'll do just this. You'll run over this whole airplane with your hands, over every inch of it. You'll feel every little speck, and you'll sand wherever you feel a little spot. That's exactly what you'll do. Like I said, one thing that this airplane did have that I didn't like was these weren't broken hard enough. And its original paint job. What was there? Was something else I pointed out to you that was a flaw? All these trailing edges.
They're sanded now.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could see the grain in them, in spots, when you candled it.
They're sanded now. Both sides, top and bottom.
Yeah.
They're blocked in.
So those was the two glaring things that I saw on the original airplane. Now, a lot of guys, they might go 4, 5, or 6 coats on this right now. But the only thing you end up doing is you end up with brush strokes in it. Yeah. That you'll see through the tissue paper, and you can't, or you play hell get, and then you really got to add primer and everything, get all that crap out of it. And just remember, guys, Sparky uses Superfill. I use Superfill. Everybody, anybody that's worth their weight in finishes uses Superfill. But you still don't want to use any more than you absolutely have to, because it does weigh something, and it you put it on there, and it's on there. The whole point is get that finish in the wood prior to anything, prior to any tissue or anything. Well, I'm as guilty as the next guy when it comes to being lazy.
Well, I guess I better pack up and get the hell out of here. I gotta stop at C.R. Butts and pick up some more vaping stuff. C.R. Butts Tobacco Hours.
Here's what I found.
Yeah, 12 miles. C.R. Butts Tobacco website.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Try tapping above to edit.
God. C.R. Butts Tobacco website.
Here's what I found.
Oh, man. C.R. Butts Inglewood Tobacco.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Try tapping above to edit.
Yeah, tight.
C.R. Butts Tobacco Inglewood.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Try tapping above to edit. Okay, here's what I found.
God. I swear, AI is stupid as a rock. Well, we just dropped the screen there. All right, guys, I'm going to end the live stream. I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share the videos. We'll see you later this evening. Fairwinds, tight lines. Let's go, Brandon. See you.
We close at 8 p.m. Robert.
Yeah, I hear you.
Taywood Road, Inglewood, or you in Trotwood? Inglewood. That's at Sierra Butt Discount Tobacco, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Picture's really nice.